In this video, we'll be teaching one-to-one correspondence. This is the first thing that we teach the kindergarten children when they come. It's where they count one object at a time as they touch it. So if we're going to count these cars, it would look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice that as we counted, we moved the cars to the side so that the children don't get confused. You could try this at home with anything. You might have some toys and you can ask the children, how many animals do I have? Encourage them to move the animals as they count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Ask the children, how many animals do you have?
8 animals altogether.
They will learn that the last number that they said represents the total number of objects that they have. That's one-to-one correspondence. You can practice one-to-one correspondence at home. You might have some coloured pencils or markers the children can count. You might have some Lego or other building blocks. It's good practice to even ask them for specific colours. How many orange Lego pieces do I have?
1, 2, 3, 4.
How many orange was there?
4 Lego pieces.
Well done. You might even decide to use some food. So here we have some blueberries and you could ask your child, can I please have 7 blueberries?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Enjoy counting one-to-one at home. Once the children know one-to-one correspondence, the next level is to teach them to visualize numbers. To do this, we teach them subitizing. Subitizing is where you can know a number by its pattern without counting each individual number. So if we have a dice, we know that that is the number 5. We don't need to count every single dot. We recognize the pattern 5. This is the pattern 4. We want our children to be able to recognize the number using the dot pattern without counting. This would be a 6 and this would be a 2. You can practice that at home by rolling dice and playing games with your children. It's also helpful for children to recognize patterns using their fingers. So if we had all 10 fingers out, children would know that that was the number 10 without counting every single finger. This is the number
10.
We know that one hand is 5. So without counting each finger, children know that that is the number 5. They can recognize this pattern as being 7. 5 and 2 more. This is the number 8. You can play games like this as you're walking with your children or sitting at home so that they can recognize these patterns. This is subitizing. When teaching the children how to add, we first use one-to-one correspondence to show them how many in each group. So in the first group we have
1, 2, 3, 4.
And in the second group we have
1, 2, 3.
Now we know that the first group has 4, the second group has 3. We'll ask the children, how many cars do I have all together?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4.
They'll keep counting.
5, 6, 7.
So we know that 4 and 3 makes 7. Once the children know how to use one-to-one correspondence to add two numbers together, the next stage is for them to use visualization. This is where they need their knowledge of dot patterns, which we learnt from the subitizing video. So first, you get the children to put the objects in the same pattern as the dot. And ask them, does that look the same as the dice?
Yes.
Well done. And we can do the same with the next group. And we can see now that the Lego pieces have been put in the same dot pattern that the children recognise from the dice. Now, this is the tricky bit. We want to encourage them to count without touching each object. So we can hide the bigger number to start and see if they can visualise the dot pattern as they count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So we know that we have 8 in total. When they get really good at it, you can cover the second number as well. Now let's see if they can see a picture in their head as they count the dot patterns.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And that is counting 2 objects using visualization. Once children know how to add using visualization, the next stage is to learn how to count on and back from the big number. To do this, they first need to be very fluent at knowing the number after and the number before. To practice this, you can use a dice at home. Roll the dice and get your child to practice the number after. What's the number after 3?
4.
And you can continue to play this for as long as they're having fun. What's the number after 6?
7.
Good. Roll again. What's the number after?
2.
You might also practice this using some playing cards at home. Flip over the card and get your child to say the number after.
7. 5. 6.
It's really fun to race your child as well, so there adds a bit of competition. Once they're fluent at knowing their number after, also practice the number before. You can remind them that the number before goes to blast off, so we're counting backwards. What's the number before?
5. 3. 4.
You want your child to be very fluent at naming the number before and after a given number so that they are ready to count on and back from the big number. Once the children are very fluent with knowing the number after and the number before a given number, they are ready to count on and back from the big number. You can practice at home by using some playing cards or dice. Turn over 2 playing cards and ask your child, which is the bigger number?
3.
Encourage them to place the bigger number in their head by touching their head and saying the bigger number.
3.
Get them to make the smaller number using their fingers. So when we count on, we start with the big number and touch our heads as we say the number.
3.
Now on our fingers we begin with the number after 3.
4. 5.
When we have no fingers left, we know we've found our total. 3 plus 2 equals 5. Let's try that again with some new cards. Again, ask your child, which is the bigger number?
6.
Encourage them to put the 6 in their head by touching their head and let them make the smaller number using their fingers. It's very important they touch their head as they say 6 because some children get confused and start the number 6 by putting down a finger. We need to remind them the first finger is the number after. So as we count 6 plus 4, let's start with
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And that is counting on from the big number.